My name is Tina Chambers, and I'm a researcher in the Department of Pediatrics at UCSD, University of California, San Diego. And what I study are things that might affect the healthy development of a baby. And one of the areas we're really interested in is understanding more about breast milk. So we all know that breastfeeding your baby is the very best source of nutrition for a baby for at least the first 6 months of life and hopefully longer. But we don't know a whole lot about some of the things that the mother might take or be exposed to while she's breastfeeding, and whether or not those actually get to the baby through her breast milk. And if they do get to the baby, does it matter? Do they affect your infant in terms of its development or learning or growth or any of those things? We're asking those mothers to give a sample, to answer some questions, and we're asking them to let us follow their children, their infants who are being breastfed for a few months up to a few years to see how those children are doing. The information that we gather from this, from the volunteers who provide the samples and the generous donors who help us pay for this important work, we will pass that out to you in the form of a publication and putting the information that we find on our website and other ways that we can distribute it so that you know what the result of this research is. So I really think it is incredibly important for us to provide the best source of nutrition and the safest source of nutrition that we can for our children, and that in order to do that, we need to know more about all of the chemicals and medications and other things that may get into breast milk that may be perfectly fine, and ones that may be harmful. We need to learn about those things and be better informed as parents about what's the best thing to do for our children and ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you for your interest in being a Mommy's Milk Research Study participant. Over the next few minutes, we'll tell you about the project, what participation in the study involves, and how we will protect the information you provide to us. We'll also talk about the risks and benefits to being in the study, how we will use both the information you provide and the results of the study, and the next steps if you decide that you want to participate. First, let's talk about why we are doing the Mommy's Milk study. The goal of Mommy's Milk is to learn more about how breast milk influences infant and child health and development. The Mommy's Milk program is supported by the University of California, San Diego Center for Better Beginnings and by in-kind support from the Dean at the UCSD School of Medicine. The analysis of the breast milk samples that we collect will be supported by many different sponsors over time. As you watch this video, please make note of any questions you may have and be sure to ask these questions when you speak to a member of our study staff when they contact you to finalize your participation in the study. Now let's talk about the things that you will be asked to do if you participate in Mommy's Milk. First, you will be asked to provide us with approximately 2 ounces of breast milk. If you cannot provide 2 ounces, we will accept as little as 1 teaspoon, which equals just a few drops of breast milk. You may donate your milk only one time, or you can provide us with multiple milk samples as many times as you'd like. We will provide you with instructions and all of the materials that you will need in order to collect your milk and ship it to our office. If you live in San Diego, you are more than welcome to come to our office for the milk collection. At the time you provide your milk sample, we will also ask you questions about several different topics, including your personal health history as well as your family's health history, your lifestyle habits, your breastfeeding history and habits, your baby's health history, your mood and how you've been feeling recently, your eating habits, and any medications you've taken or substances you've used while breastfeeding. Some of this information will be collected by our staff during an interview, and some of it will be collected from online questionnaires you'll be asked to complete. We will also ask you to complete questionnaires about your child's development at various stages of his or her life. This includes his or her physical, social, and language development. Each set of questionnaires will be mailed to you with a prepaid return envelope. If there are any concerns about your child's development that are identified as a result of completing these questionnaires, you will get a report of these concerns approximately 3 months after you complete the questionnaires. Finally, there are a few parts of the study that are optional. This means that you can decide if you want to do them or not. And even if you decide that you do not want to do them, you can still participate in the other parts of the study. The first optional part of the study involves your medical records. We may ask you to give us your written permission to access information from your medical records. This would include lab results, medical procedures, and medications you are prescribed by your doctor. If you agree to let us access your medical records, we will access them to update this information for as long as we have your milk sample. You can also tell us at any time to stop accessing information from your medical record by simply contacting our office. Another optional part of the study involves your child's medical records. We may ask you to give us your written permission to access information from your child's medical records. This includes things like lab results, medical procedures, and medications your child is prescribed. If you agree to let us access your child's medical records, we will access them to update this information for as long as we have your milk sample. You can also tell us at any time to stop accessing information from your child's medical record by simply contacting our office. A third optional part of the study has to do with updating your contact information. We'd like to be able to contact you once per year to make sure that the contact information that we have for you, like your phone number, mailing address, and email address, are all up to date. The final part of the study that is optional has to do with other research opportunities. If you agree, we may contact you up to 2 times per year with information about other research studies in which you may be interested in participating. At that time, we'll tell you about the study so you can decide if it is something you'd like to learn more about. Now let's talk about how we will protect the information that you provide to us. First, your breast milk sample and any of the interview or questionnaire data you provide to us will be de-identified. This means that we will remove your name and any other information that could identify you, and we will use a unique code instead. In addition, your milk sample will be stored in a secure freezer in a locked lab, and all of the information you provide will be stored on secure, password-protected computers inside of locked buildings. Researchers who study your sample will not be given any information that identifies you. Mommy's Milk research records may be reviewed to ensure that researchers are following the rules and regulations. To do so, these reviewers, which could include the UCSD Institutional Review Board, or IRB, or federal agencies, may need to look at your research records and medical records, but they will not use your information for any reason other than to make sure that research rules and regulations are being followed. Finally, this study has a certificate of confidentiality from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. This certificate covers all of the data collected as part of this study, and it protects the identity of our study participants in the event of any legal proceedings. Because of this certificate, the information you provide cannot be used in any criminal or legal proceedings. If you decide to participate in the study, there are a few potential risks. You may feel some physical discomfort while expressing your breast milk sample. There is also a risk that the information we collect from you could be mistakenly shared with someone outside the study. We believe that this risk is very small, but we cannot make any guarantees. Regarding the potential benefits of study participation, you will not benefit directly from participating. However, if you complete the questionnaires about your child's development and concerns are identified, your child may benefit from the report you will receive. In addition, society may benefit in the future from the knowledge that we gain from the information and milk sample you have provided. Now let's talk about what we will do with your breast milk sample. We will store your sample for as long as it is useful unless you ask us to remove it. We don't know exactly how your samples will be used. Your milk may be used to answer questions like what medications and substances pass into breast milk, or what nutritional and other components of breast milk benefit a child. Researchers can apply to study mommy's milk samples and the other information that we collect. Any researchers that want to do so will need to get their study approved by the Mommy's Milk Research Committee and by the UCSD IRB. Ultimately, Dr. Chambers will decide how your samples are used. These samples and their derivatives may have significant therapeutic or commercial value. By participating in this project, you consent to such uses. You will not get any individual results from research that is done on your breast milk sample. We also will not give study results to your doctor, and we will not put them in your medical record. If you'd like, we will send you study publications that used samples from our breast milk repository. There is a small chance that we may find out information about your health that you did not know about before. We will only tell you about a finding like this if it is likely to have serious consequences. You are free to change your mind about participating in Mommy's Milk at any time. For example, you can decide that you do not want us to contact you to update your personal information or to let you know about other research study opportunities. You can decide that you no longer want us to access your or your child's medical record. You can decide that you would like us to remove the link between your name and your unique code number, so there's nothing linking you to the information you provided. Or you can decide that you do not want any of your information used for any more studies. In the case of numbers 1 to 3 above, we would still use your sample and the information we've collected from you. In the case of number 4 above, we would destroy what is left of your breast milk sample and would only keep your information for audit purposes. If you do change your mind about participating in Mommy's Milk, please call us at 858-246-1704. Once you've agreed to participate, we will require you to sign 2 consent forms that contain all of the information covered in this video. One covers the elements of the study that involve you, such as your milk sample and the interview we'll do. The other covers the elements of the study that involve your child, such as the developmental questionnaires. Some studies may wish to perform genetic analysis with your breast milk sample, but this is optional. If you agree to genetic studies, we will ask you to sign a separate document called a consent addendum for your participation in these studies. Last, if you agree to release your medical records and/or your child's medical records, we will ask you to sign medical records release forms that includes information for your and/or your child's healthcare provider. Thank you for your attention as we reviewed important information about what it means to participate in Mommy's Milk. Now you will be asked if you would like to be in the study, and if you say yes, you will be asked to make choices about the optional parts of the study. You'll also be asked to specify the best times that our staff can contact you. After completing the online study consent, our staff will call you within 1 to 5 business days to answer any questions you may have and to schedule a day and time for your milk collection and interview appointment. If you live outside of San Diego County, our staff will ship your milk collection kit and study forms through FedEx. You will receive a phone call at your scheduled date and time to complete the study interview and ship your milk sample back to us. On behalf of Dr. Chambers and the Mommy's Milk team, thank you for considering participation in the Mommy's Milk project.